Hello English 101I students, welcome to week 15 of our course. As you know, we're just about at the end. This week is a short week, so you'll just have a couple of weeks to attend classes if you're attending any face-to-face. And next week we only have one remaining day of class, or one remaining day of the semester, that is, because of course after the Thanksgiving holiday everything moves online, Hadlander. So if you do have any face-to-face classes, you won't have them anymore after this week. And so just to kind of walk you through what our final assignments are as we head into this week, the one-day week coming next week, and then final exam week. So of course, like always, we'll go to course information. We'll take a look at our course calendar. All right, and we'll move all the way down to week 15. So of course this week you are submitting the final version of your comparative evaluation essay. You also worked on assignments 7.1 and 7.2 this week. The goal of those two assignments was to start to get you ready for the final assignment you'll be working on, the final essay you'll be working on this week and next week, which is the reflective argument essay. So you started to think about, what are some ways I can begin to improve my language skills? What's my long-term focus? What areas did I notice that I was really good in this semester? What areas do I still need to improve and work on? So you kind of thought about some of those things this week. Going into this week, into week 15, you'll see that we have two assignments due. One is the draft of the reflective argument essay, and there is also one more homework assignment before we're completely finished with all of them, and that is assignment 7.3. So we'll go over into the module 7 folder. Let's get into our course modules area, and all the way down to module 7. Okay, so just to move down a little bit, you'll see, of course, all of our Module 7 due dates. So assignment 7.3 is due on Monday, November 30th. The reflective argument essay is also due on Monday, November 30th. And I meant to put draft in there. That shouldn't say narrative. Anyway, I will correct that. Okay, so you've already done assignment 7.1, as I mentioned. You also worked on assignment 7.2. So you've started to think about the importance of revising and editing and reflecting on your past learning experiences. And that's what this week is going to be all about. So your first assignment for this week is assignment 7.3, reflecting on the Gibbs cycle. So I'll ask you first to watch this short video. It's almost 9 minutes long, and it kind of shows you the process that you go through when you've been through an experience and you reflect on it. You think about what you've done, what you could have done differently, what you're going to be doing in the future, what changes you might implement to improve yourself, to make yourself better at whatever skill you happen to be learning. So after you watch the video, you'll actually interact with each other just a little bit one final time. You've done that somewhat here and there with the peer review assignments this semester. And this is kind of the last time that you will interact with each other, but we'll do it together as a whole group. So you'll click here on assignment 7.3 after you've watched the video. And as it tells you here, in a discussion post of 150 to 200 words, explain how you might apply the steps of the Gibbs cycle to improving a specific skill in your sport. For those of you who are athletes, that's one approach you could take with this, or in another skill area that is important to you. So just like you can reflect on improving athletic or other skills, explain how the Gibbs cycle could help you improve your skills as a writer. So you'll kind of look at both. How could it improve skills you're already really good at? And how could it help you to improve skills in the area in which you've been studying this semester, which is improving your writing skills. Once you've put up your post of 150 to 200 words, then you're going to respond to at least two classmates in a post of 50 to 100 words. It can be a little bit shorter, and consider the following. So can you identify with your classmates' experiences? Do they seem similar or different to yours? Why or why not? What else do you think that he or she should consider in the quest to become a stronger writer? So to receive full credit on this assignment, you'll need to include both your post and 2 responses to other classmates. So when you click here on assignment 7.3, it's going to take you to a discussion forum. Of course, right now this forum is empty because nobody has posted here yet. But what you will do is click on Create Thread. Okay, and there you've still got a link to the video and all the instructions, and you'll post your own response to that video and then hit Submit. Okay, once you've done that, you'll start to see other students' posts there, and then you can begin to add your responses to those. The other way you can get to this assignment is if you go back to My Classroom, and then if you click on Discussion Board, scroll down just a little bit, okay, and you see you already participated in a discussion forum at the beginning of the semester, so the procedure is going to be the same thing that you did for that one. But now you'll go down to Reflecting on the Gibbs Cycle, click here, and it comes to the same forum. So one person has to get the forum started by creating a thread. Okay, so that would be your first assignment. Then going back into course modules, we'll go back down to Module 7. And now this time we're going to come to Essay 4, Reflective Argument Essay. So the first thing you should do, and I would recommend doing assignment 7.3 first. Of course, you can go ahead and look at the assignment guidelines anytime you like, but I think it's helpful to have the Gibbs assignment or Gibbs cycle assignment completed first, at least your own post, or watch the video first, so that the instructions for Essay 4 will make more sense to you, because they kind of ask you to reflect back on what you learned from the video. So the first thing we can do is open up these assignment guidelines. And just like all your other essay assignments, they're set up the same way with first an overview. So as it tells you there, you'll take a metacognitive look at your development as a writer in English, or English 101I. So what do we mean by metacognitive? It's basically thinking about your own thinking, getting a better understanding of your own thinking, kind of like taking a bird's eye view of what you have learned and accomplished during the semester as a writer in English. So you'll write in an argument explaining the extent to which you have or have not met the course goals. For this assignment, you must cite evidence from your experience in the course. So instead of citing outside sources, you're going to bring in evidence from your various experiences and assignments in English 101I. So you can look back at drafts and final versions of your own essays, specific content and organizational comments, error patterns you noticed in the number feedback. So think back to all those like grammar kinds of evaluations I had you do on yourself. Like, what are your patterns? What are you strong in? What are you weaker in? What kinds of number patterns did you notice in your essays? What kinds of content comments did I give you in your essays? So you'll need to start to look back at your narrative essay, at your second essay, which was the response to an article. You'll look back at your comparative evaluation essay, and you'll look to see what kinds of comments I gave to you throughout the semester. Look back at your peer review comments. What kinds of feedback did your classmates give to you? Did they match with what I gave to you? Did you see some other ideas that you hadn't thought of before or that I didn't mention? So yes, as we see in bullet point number 2, feedback you've received from other students and from me, and any feedback you've received from the Writing Center on homework assignments, any assigned readings or videos that helped you to become a better writer or made you realize things you needed to improve. Okay, so basically your audience is just going to be me, mainly. We're not going to do a peer review assignment in this case. I think this is such an individualized kind of essay. It's an individualized evaluation of your own writing skills that I don't think a peer review would be as helpful for this assignment. So, as your instructor, I want to know where you believe you are on your journey as a writer. In addition, thinking about your own writing progress will be helpful as you move on to other college courses and your professional life. And as I tell you here, we will not complete a peer review activity for this assignment. So it's kind of like a conversation between me and you. All right, so as far as your organization, your introduction should have the 3 main components you've learned about in all your other essay assignments. Your hook might be something like a story, an anecdote, an experience about your writing in the past, how you feel about writing as a subject, how it's had an influence on your life as a college student or even before coming to study at Lander. You might explain for the background why you came to study at Lander, what you expected to gain from this class before you took it, and how it turned out. You could even mention something about the online format. Was it what you expected before you came here? Were you excited, not excited about that? How did it turn out for you? You can be honest about that. I'm not going to grade you on your opinion of the class format. Okay, your thesis. Include a claim or assertion about the extent to which you have or have not met the course goals and why it's it's perfectly acceptable and appropriate to use I in this essay since you are essentially making an argument about yourself. So you're putting a claim out there, an opinion about yourself and your own development. It might seem kind of strange to evaluate yourself in that way if you haven't done it before, but it really is a useful exercise. And it's one that is a pretty standard assignment among all the English 101 classes at Lander. So you're in good company for this one. So your body paragraphs are going to refer back to the video that you are watching in assignment 7.3. So part 1 of your body paragraphs should look at questions 1 to 3 from the video, and that will make sense after you watch the video. So describe what activities you participated in the course, what you learned from them, how they made you feel or change your thinking or help you improve as a writer, any positives or negatives about those experiences, and cite specific evidence. Okay, so I would expect that you would introduce this evidence just as you would if you were citing ideas or quotes from published sources. So I've given you what we call templates here, examples or templates. Templates are just models that you can follow to bring in other ideas into your essay. So I'll mention just a couple of them here. So the first bullet point says, in the second major essay in this course, the personal argumentative essay, my peer review partner told me that, and because of this advice, I learned that I need to. Or, maybe another example might be, at first I was apprehensive or, hesitant, doubtful about visiting the writing center, but once I did, I realized that. Or, when I proofread my writing in the past, I always did blah, blah, blah. However, in this course, I learned to do something different. Okay, so don't be afraid to include details about anything that did not help you learn this semester. Okay, giving constructive criticism of the class will not have a negative impact on your grade. Just be sure to support that with evidence on what did or did not work for you. So a great example from previous semesters when I have taught the class face-to-face is that sometimes students would say, peer review didn't really help me very much. My partner wasn't that engaged in the process, or he or she gave me very general comments and I wish it could have been different. I felt like I gave a lot to it, but the other person didn't. So that's a great example of a constructive criticism. Part 2 of your body paragraphs, and each part could have 2 to 3 paragraphs. This is in the end a 3 to 4 page essay, but your draft is the usual 1.5 to 2 pages. So in part 2, you'll reflect on what you still need to do in order to become an accomplished writer. Remember assignment 7.1 from last week? That's where you can borrow some ideas. That was basically like a pre-writing activity for you. So by looking back on what you wrote for assignment 7.1, you have already prepared something for part 2. So take those ideas, incorporate them into your essay, revise them, change them around if you need to. But that's great material that you can use here. So I had a plan in mind by giving you that assignment last week. Okay, so what do you still need to do to become an accomplished writer? What patterns of errors did you notice in your essays this semester? What's still difficult for you in academic writing? What could you have done differently to make the semester even more successful? What do you plan to do to make improvements? And they should be very, very specific. Okay, saying that you're going to study English 5 minutes every morning is probably not super specific. You might not really do that. Instead, you might say, every morning I'm going to go to this specific website and I'm going to do 3 activities on comma splices, and I'm going to do them for a week until I make sure that I've mastered and understood that skill. Okay, so that would be an example of something more specific. And then, of course, you'll summarize your thoughts and make a prediction about your future as a writer in English in the conclusion. The sample essays on this topic, I think, will be very, very helpful. I'll go and show you where those are in just a moment. The assignment requirements and other details, very similar to every other essay you've done this semester. The final version of your essay is 3 to 4 pages. The draft, like always, is 1.5 to 2 pages. You won't be submitting the final assignment until Monday, December 7th, and that's going to be your final assignment in the course. No final exam for this course. Since it's a writing course, we don't need to take a test. You will demonstrate your skills through your writing. So as you'll see, the due dates are listed here. So a week from today, Monday, November 30th, you'll submit your first draft, 1.5 to 2 pages. And then you'll use that time, of course, between Monday the 30th and Monday, December 7th. That's the very last day of final exams. You'll submit the final version of your essay, but you'll use the time in between to get help, mainly from me this time, because I just found out from the Writing Center that their last day is November 24th. So you won't be able to take advantage of their services, but I have worked with several of you in office hours and through email, so don't hesitate to get in touch with me if you have questions. I'm more than happy to help you. Okay, and if you haven't used your one-day extension for any other assignment this semester, you can still use it for the final essay as long as you let me know by Sunday, December 6th. The grading is the same as all the other essays. We'll be using the same rubric, and you'll find all of that in Blackboard. Okay, so heading back over here, the last thing I'll let you know about are the 2 sample essays. This first one, and these are students who did exactly the same assignment last year or another year. This one was from 2 years ago. So this is one that you can definitely learn well from. This was a student from China who did this essay, and it's one of the best essays for this assignment that I've ever received. She was really reflective on her experiences. She really took an experience that she thought wouldn't work for her in the beginning of the semester, and she ended up learning a lot from it. So this is a really, really great example to read. I strongly encourage you to take a look at it. The other essay sample that you'll see here, I believe, is from an Italian student. So we have students from all over the world coming to Lander. And this one was also from 2 years ago. And yes, I'm quite sure the student was from Italy. So he was also a very good writer, a very careful writer, one who was very successful in the class, which is why I chose both of these samples for you. So this is another great example to look at. A very well-organized kind of, oops, sorry about that. Keep getting emails even in our videos. So this is a student who would be a great example for you to follow. A very strong writer, a very organized writer, and someone who knew exactly what he wanted to get from his experience in the United States. So that is everything for this week. So you've got, just to summarize, assignment 7.3, assignment or essay number 4, the first draft of that. And, as always, let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you have any concerns, and I will be more than happy to help you. I wish you a great short week, some relaxing days, taking a break from classes, and I'll be back with you again next week.